The case of the vanishing frosting. Crumb had been waiting for this day since the first leaf turned gold. It was his birthday, and the center of the kitchen held a masterpiece, a triple-layered honey sponge, draped in swirls of blueberry frosting so blue they looked like pieces of the twilight sky. Crumb reached out a paw, just to see if the frosting felt as soft as it looked. "Not yet," he whispered to himself. "The guests will be here soon." Crumb skipped to the pantry to find the silver plates, humming a little tune about honey and berries. But when he returned, his song stopped mid-note. The kitchen was quiet. The window was open, letting in a cool breeze. And on the wooden table, where the magnificent cake had stood just moments ago, there was nothing but a few lonely crumbs and a single unlit candle lying on its side. Panicked, Crumb ran out into the woods. He found his friend Nestor sitting on a low branch of the great willow. Nestor was known for his sharp eyes and his even sharper memory. "Nestor!" Crumb cried. "My birthday cake is gone. It vanished in the blink of an eye." Nestor looked down, adjusting his posture with a serious air. "A mystery," Nestor hooted softly. "We shall need to look for what others overlook." Nestor didn't wait for a second invitation. He took to the air, his wings silent against the morning light. He circled the cottage and then glided toward the garden fence. "Aha!" he called out. On the jagged edge of a low leaf, a tiny, sticky smudge of blueberry frosting caught the sun. It was a trail, a very delicious-looking trail. Crumb and Nestor followed the blue spots through the tall grass. Every few feet, they found a smudge on a stone or a blue fingerprint on a dandelion. "Whoever took it was in a great hurry," Nestor observed, peering through a small glass lens he pulled from his feathers. Crumb pointed at a patch of soft mud. "Look, Nestor, footprints, but they're so small. How could someone so tiny carry a whole cake?" As they neared the edge of the wild thicket, they bumped into Lula. She was carrying a heavy woven basket that smelled of cinnamon and sugar. "Lula!" Crumb shouted. "Have you seen a cake?" "A blue one? It's gone missing." Lula stopped and tilted her head. "I haven't seen a cake, Crumb. I've been busy baking these muffins for your party. But I did hear a strange rustling near the old rhubarb patch." Lula led the way toward the rhubarb patch, where the leaves were as big as umbrellas. She moved gracefully through the stalks, her nose twitching as she searched the shadows. "If I were a cake thief," she whispered, "I would hide somewhere cool and dark, where no one would think to look." She began to lift the heavy, drooping leaves one by one. Crumb followed Lula's lead and lifted a particularly enormous leaf near the garden wall. There, huddled in a ball of blue-stained prickles, was Pips. The little hedgehog was surrounded by the remains of the honey sponge. He was covered from his nose to his toes in blue frosting, looking very much like a walking blueberry. Pips froze, a fork made of a twig held halfway to his mouth. Nestor landed nearby, looking down at the messy hedgehog. "Pips," Nestor said firmly but not unkindly. "That was Crumb's birthday cake." Pips looked at his sticky paws, and then at his feet. I thought it was a picnic," Pip squeaked. "A help-yourself picnic, left out in the sun. I didn't mean to take the whole birthday. I just couldn't stop once I started." He looked so small and blue that it was hard to stay cross. Crumb looked at his ruined cake, then at the muffins in Lula's basket, and finally at Pip's blue face. He started to giggle, and soon Lula was laughing too. "Well," Crumb said, "it's still my birthday, and a cake is better shared, even if it's a bit squashed." They spread a blanket right there in the garden. Crumb gave Pips a proper plate, and together they enjoyed what was left of the blueberry twilight.